Mr. Speaker, sir. I also rise to join the Deputy Chief Minister and LO in condoling the demise of number of illustrious leaders, including the leaders from our own state and the rest of the country. As usual, when we sit in this August House on the first day, we are confronted by this situation where we are reminded of many leaders who have served the people, the state and the nation as a whole in their different capacities, and have been instrumental in shaping the whole socio-political landscape of the respective states and the nation as a whole. I pay my tribute and homage to all these leaders who have left us. We have lost as many as 19 illustrious leaders in the last preceding months, and from amongst them, yes, some of them who were from our own state, whom we have known so closely. I would like to make a particular reference to one of such leaders, one of the tallest political figures that the state has produced, late Salseng Simarak, who have served us in different capacities and also as the Chief Minister. He was sworn in as Chief Minister twice, though the second time the situation was different. The usual political pulls and pushes which the state has witnessed in the preceding years. Notwithstanding the usual trend of instability in the state, I remember in 1993 when he took charge of the state as the Chief Minister, he could keep stability for 5 years. Somehow, we were privileged to be part of that 93-98 duration of his service as the Chief Minister. He, as many of us have known, with such a long innings in politics, many of our friends who have been in active politics had the privilege to work with him for a long, long time, including you. We have known him very closely. And the legacy that he has left behind, as have been very eloquently articulated by our LO, by R.B. Lingdo. I think I would like to spend my time in recollecting some of the experiences that will rekindle our memories. I've known him even when I was a student. And 82, 83, 84, as students, we do often look for various interventions from politicians. And we never had the necessity to take an appointment. We wanted to have an audience with him. That's the beauty of the leader. And the same thing we witness. You know, Meghalaya has inherited a very unique, which I used to always refer as it is something unique and exclusive for the state of Meghalaya. You know, people don't have to take appointment or seek appointment prior to meeting the leaders, prior to meeting even the chief ministers. We inherited this. So one day somebody was telling me, sir, why don't you at least change the system? Because when we want to have a important official discussion, we do land up people coming and waiting and sometimes even without any pre-information. Yeah, I think we are confronted by this. But this is something which we have inherited. I think this is something which we should be considered as a legacy of the state, something which is exclusive and unique. I see many of the ministers do the same. This is the legacy that they have left. I remember all the MLAs, whenever we wanted to meet him, either in office or in the house, sometimes they were taken by surprise because some of the young MLAs have entered. The age gap was so much. I remember one incident when we, who were somehow from generation perspective, were considered as the new generation amongst the elected members in 93, 98. Because Let SC Marak used to have some kind of exclusive practice where he will be a host every night. He used to be a host for everybody. And I do not know how many dinners I have been privileged to have and share with him. Similarly, I think many will agree. Whoever had the privilege to be part of this, the people who were within that circle had the privilege to really be part of that great celebration. The friends used to narrate about the experiences which were very different. That every time we go and meet him in the evening, we shall not be allowed to come without really satisfying our taste buds. Ever willing to host people. Last time when I met him in his residence in Resu Belpara, since it was in the evening, he made it a point to ask me to have dinner with him. So that whole legacy, that as a politician, I think how many politicians, how many MLAs and how many ministers must have had dinner with him and lunch with him and breakfast with him. I think it will be very difficult for us to remember it. So that was the kind of speciality that this man demonstrated. And his love for music. Evening when we go for dinner, there'll be somebody playing the guitar and somebody singing the song that he used to like. I remember James Mervyn Pariat, he used to be a good guitarist. He used to be always there with the guitar, and that's how the whole environment was. Then, in respect of his clarity in taking decision, the decisions that he took during his tenure as Chief Minister in 93, during 93 and 98, I think they are worth remembering. I remember in 1993, the main issue during the election was the erection of border pillar in the western part of the state of Meghalaya. I don't know how many of us remember this. We have the honorable member from Dalu, who was then the MLA of Kerapara. We were of the same batch, 93 batch. So this issue of, the contentious issue of our differences with our counterpart Assam in respect of interested border. I think Honorable Speaker will remember this, that in 1993 this became an electoral issue. And So the people of the western part of the state were really wondering what should the state be doing and what will be the ultimate decision of the state. Because Assam erected border pillars well within to the 6 scheduled areas of ADCs, our Autonomous District Council, Garo Hills Autonomous District Council. But after the formation of the government, he took a bold decision. All these border pillars which were erected were dismantled, removed overnight. That is the decision that gave the kind of confidence and hope in the people who were in power. There is a restoration of confidence of the people as people look at all of us pertaining to issues which need to be addressed in the right perspective. So these decisions, as we all know, understanding the stand of the counterpart, Assam, must not have been easy, but it was a decision that was taken and it was effectively implemented, thereby restoring the hope and confidence of the people in the political dispensation. And another very important decision, we all are aware of the provision of the Constitution of India in respect of the para 6 of the 6th Schedule of Constitution of India. The administration of the lower primary schools, which are vested with district councils. How many years the lower primary school teachers suffered and pleaded with the authorities to take into cognizance the very fact that district council was not in a position to run the primary schools anymore. We have seen the agonies of the lower primary school teachers. I have seen when I was growing up as a child, because my late mother told me how to run a shop, so I was running a shop. So every primary school teachers then, when they were under the administration of district council, due to non-receipt of salary, they had to always ask credit from the shops. But a decisive decision to take over the administration of the lower primary schools, I think we should remember this. A decisive decision, thereby putting an end into the agony of these countless teachers who have suffered for so many years. They were given relief, and with freshness they started serving the people with greater zeal. So these are important decisions, and also to restore peace. Remember that decision to enter into a truce agreement to bring an end to the rising militancy in the state. They did a number of initiatives. One of them was the truce between the Achik Livers and Makrik army to put an end to this militancy in Garo Hills case. Though in the eastern part, the whole same thing could not be achieved due to various other reasons, but at least partly the western part, restoration of peace was achieved during this time. And many initiatives besides these few that I have said, but I would like to end by only reminding us of, yes, the core values that he has demonstrated during his innings as politician and while he was in power, while he was the chief. Yes, the capacity to demonstrate simplicity and humility, the capacity to be able to look at the pains of the people and be approachable and to give comfort. I know that as we had quite a age difference, our thoughts and his thoughts were a little different. But I learned many things from him as well. The patience, the power of patience. Because as I entered this Aga's house, I was young, I was impatient. And there was a time when since we had agreed and disagreed on many things, I think there were quite a number of areas where we disagreed. And we disagreed to that extent that at one point of time, I had to contest against him for the PCC president. That was one of the time. Then, of course, it was quite interesting. The votes were equal, same votes. But that was because of the, as young men, we do sometimes often demonstrate our eagerness to get things done and become victim of impatience. But one day he told me, young man, there is a, benefit of wait. Your impatience are not something which is considered as negative values of a person. I think it is only because you as young men want to see that, okay, we don't remain complacent. So I think that is how we created that check and balance between the young and the old. And subsequent to that, we saw a beautiful blend of the young and old in the politics of Meghalaya. We saw many more young men being encouraged by the senior leaders, and that's how we see today the whole members of this August House, how beautifully blended we are with the young and the old. I think it's another exclusivity of our August House. So, though we had time when we agreed and disagreed, but we agreed to work together. We had challenges which we faced together. I remember in 2018, when all the friends were deciding not to contest, he also indicated that he is not willing to contest. I had to go and virtually request him and appeal to him, sir, please don't do this. Please don't give up contest. And it was very difficult because he has whispered to many of his supporters that he may not contest, and therefore there were already some of our party workers who were already nurturing a young candidate, a new candidate, because the perception was generated that he will not contest 2018 election. It was difficult, but we convinced him and he contested only for the sake of the party. Just to ensure that the perception that all the senior leaders are leaving and then giving up, and therefore Congress is left with only a few of them, because that is the time when we saw all the trend of many of our friends leaving the party. For whatever reasons, we know it, but I remain grateful to him that despite the visible challenges that he could foresee pertaining to the outcome of that electoral battle, he agreed to contest for the sake of the party. I remain grateful to him, Mr. Speaker, sir. I have learned many things. I stand enriched by being part of the team who could work with this illustrious leader and who had definitely been a guide, a teacher, and an inspiration for me and for many others. I would like to pray that the members of the Piri family find solace and comfort. My prayers are there. I join my other colleagues in my prayers for the Piri family. And I also remember one of the leaders, Buddha Bhattacharya, late Buddha Bhattacharya. He was the chief minister between 2001, 6 and 11. So I could see in this man how he articulated issues pertaining to the states, and how he would go beyond the boundaries of West Bengal when issues pertaining to the region was required to be discussed at the national level. The privilege of being in a number of meetings together. And why I'm trying to remember him is because, again, this man, led Buddha Bhattacharya, are a very rare breed of politician, very rare breed of politicians, the breed which we don't see anymore. I hope I hope people still produce similar breed of politicians in future. But that will require lots of in-depth understanding about the value of core values that as politicians one should be expected of demonstrating. Therefore, a man who lived in such a simplicity with in a simple dwelling house, I think he has been another one of the tallest leaders that the country has produced, whose life can be exemplary for all of us. I salute that leader. I pay homage to these great sons of the soil. And besides them, Mr. Speaker, sir, yes, we have lost many friends. My prayers are there with all of you for them and for the Biri family. I join all of you in praying for their solace and comfort, praying for the solace and comfort of the members. Yes, we are weak as human. I know that members of the Biri family and those affected loved ones and friends, how they must be going through in this situation. But as we all pass on our burden to the Lord, I hope they will all find comfort in the Lord. For it is written, my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, may the Lord give them the strength in their weakness. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. And through you, I send my deepest condolences to all the members of the Biri family of these great leaders, and I pray that the departed souls rest in eternal peace.